Hi, everyone. It's Diane Evans. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator from the interior of British Columbia up here in Canada. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm live on the Facebook group and then we can go and continue on. So it wasn't that fun, Terry's little monkey spinner card. I thought it was just amazing. So let me just double check to make sure that I'm live in the group. And there we are. Good stuff. Okay. I don't usually what I do is I would answer all my questions when I go through StreamYard. I would normally just answer them from my comments that are there. But you know what? It's all good because I'm just going to make sure that we get going on this. All right. So welcome to the Global Share. I sure hope that you are enjoying this. Hello, Gian. But in any event, I'm hoping that you're enjoying this Global Share. Remember to go back to your demonstrator that invited you to this and talk to them about the different products that we've been using as we go along. They can also provide you with that PDF as well for the projects that are here. Well, hello, Susan. I'm so glad that you've joined me. I'm feeling like I'm not stamping by myself, right? Awesome. So I am using this timeless arrangements. Oh my goodness, I just love this bundle. Remember, if you buy this as a bundle, you do save your 10%. And also, I think this is a hidden gem. I said this yesterday when I did my intro. This is definitely a hidden gem from the in the catalog. And it actually can be found on page 67, but I'm going to show you some really neat things. If you love sentiments, this is a great one for sentiments, but look at all these dies. So many different things that we can do with it. And I'm going to show you some parts of what I'm doing. All right, so this is the card that I'm going to go ahead and make. It's got some new stuff. It's got some old stuff, a little bit of old, a little bit of new. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how I put this together. All right, so I am a Lost Lagoon fan. I absolutely love Lost Lagoon. I've always loved it. But you know what? It's if you are a soft succulent lover, you're probably going to end up just loving. You're just going to love the Lost Lagoon as well. Hello, Shirley. I'm just trying to get my it is a lot of dice. Yes. Okay. So I always, when I score this, I score into the mountain. And I'm sure you hear this from a lot of different demonstrators. But the reason you do is because when you score this and it goes into the mountain, it's broken down the paper fibers. And by doing that, it's giving you a straight edge along there. I sound like a broken record when I talk about that. Now, these measurements, I'm not giving any measurements out. They're all in the PDF file. So remember to reach out to your demonstrator. I have some pool party and I used a new embossing folder. Who doesn't love the exposed brick? Now, I don't know if you look that closely, but in the catalog, the samples that they showed was the deboss side. And this is the emboss side where you actually see the bricks. I'm going to use the deboss side as well. I think it's really a really pretty I like how it is where it's debossed, right? So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to use my Lost Lagoon, and I'm coming in with a blending brush. And they're new ink pads, so I'm not using that. I would normally use the inside of my ink pad to kind of take this off, but I'm going to just use my sheet. And I am just going to go in and I'm just sponging this with our blending brushes. And all that's going to do is, one, it's going to show up the different areas a little bit more, but it's also going to just do it just a tiny bit darker. I thought the pool party was just a little too light. This card is really simple. It looks more difficult than what it really is. So let's go here. Just going to get a bit more on there. And I really, like I say, I like the fact that it's just showing that debossed side a little more. If I showed you on this side, like I say, the bricks are lifted up. So we're just going to go ahead and put that onto our Lost Lagoon card base. Now, I'm a big lover of the glue, and I find especially when you're using an embossing folder that you should use glue because it gets into all those nooks and crannies in there, right? And then is there a right and a wrong way to do this? No, not like that type worn one. There's a way that it goes. All right, so just that simple. Just put it on there. I want to make sure that it's in the right place because I find it shifts on me sometimes. And we just put that on there like that. All right, then I have the inside piece, but I went ahead and with these dies, I used this particular die and this die. And also I'm using this for the words, this particular one. I have used probably every one of these dies since I got this set. So I'm going to use this, and I am cutting out 3 of these and 1 of these out of the dry brushed metallic paper. Now, do you remember this paper? This paper actually is carried over. They put it into the online exclusives now. So that's where you're going to be able to see it, is on the online exclusives. So it's just gorgeous paper. And honestly, I didn't use it enough when it was in the regular catalog or in the catalog. So I've cut 3 of those out. So I'll show you how I just did that. So I kind of strategically cut them out in such a way that I got some of the gold that was in there. I've got some of, and it's funny because this is a color that I said that retired in here, but it goes great with the Lost Lagoon. And that might be the reason why they carried it forward. Now I have a piece of the basic white, and I just cut one of these dies out, and I want to show you this stamp set because it is beautiful. Designer Series paper, Terry. It really, really is. Now, let me see. I'm going to come in with my paper piercing mat because this is a photopolymer stamp set. And normally I would put a piece of paper to protect this. However, I'm not worrying too much about it because I want you to see what the paper that's here. And I'm going to be stamping in between anyways, so you're not going to miss it. All right. If anyone knows me, they know that I love to emboss. So I am embossing. So I'm just using my embossing buddy. You can get that from the embossing kit. I was so glad that they brought that back because honestly, I kept using it because I am an embosser. All right, so we're going to use some Versamark. And on this stamp set, this is the one that we're using. It says, just can't enough. See how it's together? So what I'm going to do, and because I'm doing like 3 parts of embossing on here, especially the 2 parts, I'm going to show you how I do this so that I don't overcook it. So I'm just going in with this just can't enough. And I'm just going ahead and putting that right in the middle there. And then I'm going to bring in my embossing powder. Now, you can see I love to emboss, so I buy a few of the embossing powders and I put them into my bins. It also helps for classes, right? So I just use a piece of cardstock. And it's just going to go like that. And then in here is this thank you. And I think this is the one I've used the most. I don't know how many times I've used it. So I'm going in and I've got that on there. You know, what you should always do is if you have any kind of a sentiment, just lay it down, let it relax, and then just pick it up with your block. And then I'm coming in and I'm just going to move this off to the side just so I can see it. And I'm going to put that thank you in there. You notice I have not heat set this, right? So I'm just going in and getting this, and that way I can see where I've got everything, right? So we've got that so far. And then I thought, you know, that's kind of, ooh, I need something else with it. So I went and I took a sponge dauber and I went in with my Versamark, and then I just went and I'm just putting a bit of Versamark here and there. Hopefully I haven't done it too much. And then I'm going to come back in with my embossing. And then this way I can heat it all up together. And by heating it all together, I'm not going to have certain pieces that get over embossed. Because you know yourself, if you do over emboss, that you can basically, it ruins the, it ruins your finish. Now I'm going to put this out of the way because I know what I do with embossing powder. So I've got that just like that. Now, if I don't like where that is, I can come in with just a brush. And we have a brush in our, with the embossing kit. However, I am just going to go in with a stipple brush, and I'm just going to kind of take off a little bit of this. I don't want it completely the way that it was or is. So I'm just blowing it. But with the stipple brush, it kind of lets me make it so it's a little uneven and it doesn't look like I've just completely gone ahead and done it. Now I'm just trying to see the comments, who's made the comments. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my heat tool. And you know what? This isn't that bad, the noise-wise, so I'm actually going to go ahead and use it. I'm putting my take your pick tool right where one of those crosses is. This these three rectangles have really neat things. They have stitching around, but they also have 4 little crosses in them, and I'll show you that in just a second. So just going to heat this up. Like I say, anybody that watches me knows that I love to emboss. And besides, whoops, let me just get that just a bit more. If you learn to heat emboss and get doing it so that it works for you, because a lot of people are intimidated by it, your whole world with stamping techniques improves so much better. All right, so now we're ready to kind of put this together. Oh, we have one more thing that we're going to do. I'm going to come in with that piece, and I'm going to heat emboss just one other stamp on there. I'm taking this piece here, and I'm just going to use that embossing buddy again, just for the inside of the card. Very quick card. I put my, I didn't use my paper piercing mat, but I think it should be okay. I always put everything on my my inside. If I'm going to put an image down there, I put it down in the bottom right. Something about the eye going that way. That's the way it makes me feel happy anyway. So, and we'll just quickly heat emboss that. And then we're going to put it together, and you'll see how quickly it goes together. There we go. All right. So we have that. Now, this is where the magic starts, right? So now what we're going to do is we have this Lost Lagoon ribbon. We have this ribbon. We have this Simply Elegant trim. This is the gold one. We're going to have that, and then we've got these pieces here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece here, and I am just going to glue this piece in here. So just go in. These kind of dies just make it so easy to do this kind of layering on here. So just like that. Then we're going to take another piece. Now, which piece have I got here? Well, this one's got lots of nice gold on it. You know what? I think I'll do it this way. All right, so I'm just going to put this piece on there. And a lot of times, do your two cards look the same? Probably not, but that's okay. So that's just going to go like that. And then this piece here, I am just going to take this and I'm just going to trim. Oh my goodness, my snips aren't here. Well, I'm going to use my ribbon scissors, which I do not like using on my paper, but I will. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put this down here. So it's going to kind of fill up those two spots that are there. You could do this on the top if you like. You can put it anywhere really, depending on what's your preference. I could even bring this over a little bit more. We could cut this even, but I'm going to leave it just like that. And then to get this looping, I am going to come in with my tear and tape. And I'm just going to put my tear and tape onto the back here. Now I could use seal, but I prefer tear and tape because I know it's then going to stick down. So I'm just going to take some of this. I'm going to loop my Lost Lagoon. So I'll just come in and cut that. And also with this trim, cut some of that. And I'm actually going to put this trim on first. I find it's usually the hardest when I'm just watching the time. No, I'm doing okay. So we're just going to put this on here. Funny story, my granddaughter despises this technique. Whoops, we got to take this stuff off. So let's just take our tear and tape off. Just like that. And loop this again. I want more loops up at the top. Here we go. Whoops, my nails are sticking to this. And I'm okay with it going any which way. Like I kind of want to have a little bit more up at the top here. That's why I use that tear and tape, because it works so well with being able to reposition it, right? All right, so that'll work good there. And then I'm going to come with the Lost Lagoon, and we're just going to loop it. And I'm not even worrying about the front and the back of this ribbon. Just like that. And then I'm just going to trim this part off. Let's see how that looks. All right, so I'm going to trim that part off. I don't know if I have any more. Lost Lagoon, like I say, is such a pretty color. All right, so we have that. Now, anybody also that watches me knows that I reinforce all of my ribbon with tear and tape. I don't know if you've gone into cards that have been made years and years and years ago, and the ribbon all seems to have come off. If you go ahead and put this tear and tape back on to the back of this and burnish it down, this ribbon's not going to go anywhere. See, it just won't. All right. And then what we're going to do is we use some dimensionals. So I'm trying to comment with every one of the comments that are on here. I will go in afterwards. I'm out and about a lot today, so I'll be sporadic in there. Are you enjoying this so far? Oh my goodness, it's so much fun. I'm so fortunate that I got picked to be a demonstrator for this. All right, so this is just going to come on like this. Now with this piece, this is going to go on the inside. Remember I said I cut one of these smaller ones? I'm just going to go in and just put that in there just like that. Simple inside. I'm not much for taking up the room of where you can write. Now, I'm just using a bit of glue, and I see I've gobbed a bit. That was pretty bad. So all I'm doing is I'm taking just a piece of scrap. Where was that piece that I just had here? And all I'm going to do, my goodness, I'm just going to come in and just run that kind of along there. And I'm going to let that set for just a second, just so that it doesn't ooze out. All right, so we've used the Lost Lagoon and the Simply Elegant. Now, because it's gold, I'm going to use these brushed metallic adhesive back dots. These carried over from the annual catalog. Great brushed look, and it looks really good with this. So I'm just going to come in, just going to put this here, and we'll come in with a couple more dots. I don't know if your demonstrators have told you, but the best thing to do when you're using some dots or that sort of stuff is to work some kind of a triangle in there. You can put them close together. You know, honestly, it's what it really appeals to you. All right, so this is just going to go on here like so. I'm going to just trim that part off. I feel bad using my good scissors for this. One of my team members made sure that I wouldn't use this, but look at this. Good heavens. All right, let's see. What have I got here? Thank you. You love embossing too? Let's see who. Terry, I know. I can't. I have issues not embossing. All right, so let me go ahead, put this on. Like I say, I'm a glue freak. I like using glue. I can use the seal. The seal's just fine to use. All right, so there we go. What do you think of this gem? Like I say, I think it's a real hidden gem, that's for sure. So there's my card. Just looks a tiny little bit different, not too much different. Again, I use the timeless arrangements. Oh, good. I love this. This, like I say, is on page, let me just grab the catalog out, is right here on page 67. And I'm sure that's the same in all global markets. From what I understand it is. Maybe somebody could just let me know. But it's on page 67. Remember, you buy it as a bundle, you save your 10%. Reach out to your demonstrator if you want to get a PDF of this, of all the cards that have been on here. And in 5 hours, at the top of the hour, you will be able to see what our talented, let's see, just let me get back here. Our talented Tracy Health from Australia has done for us. I hope you're enjoying it. It is, like I say, it's a lot of fun to do this sort of stuff. I will post this picture. And like I say, reach out to your demonstrator and get the PDF. 5 hours time. We'll see you back. Bye for now.